Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to give you my top 5 4K Blu-ray discs of May 2023. Okay, in this video I thought I would give you my top 5 4K Blu-ray discs that were released of the past month. And when it comes to May of 2023, I feel that there were some solid releases, both catalog and new. And I think overall, we had a good, healthy balance. So when I go over these lists every month, it has nothing to do with the quality of the movie itself. That's, of course, very subjective. But the discs that I feel really best represent the picture quality and audio. So, of course, as always, I would love for you to let me know in the comment section below what your top 5 releases for the past month were. And if you're interested in any of the titles I list in this video, I will leave Amazon links in the description and comment section below. Alright, so for my first pick, I decided to go with something that, this is a B movie through and through. I mean, there's no question about it. It's not high cinematic, but any time, for the most part, that has been released on a physical format, it's done extremely well with both visual and audio, especially the audio. And Shout Factory, Scream Factory's release of The Haunting, I feel if you are a fan of the film, go ahead, invest in the 4K because the visual upgrade is more than worth it. There's a good flourish to the colors. I mean, they're really brought out with HDR and Dolby Vision. And the DTS 5.1, they didn't upgrade the audio to an Atmos. I would have loved to have heard that. That would have been probably my #1 pick of the month. But the DTS 5.1, it's thunderous. It's very atmospheric. There's a lot going on in any given moment. And, for audio and video files, you're really going to enjoy this 4K disc. So I highly recommend for my #5 pick, The Haunting. For my #4 pick of May of 2023, I'm going to go with a release from the Criterion Collection, and that's from the late director Tony Scott, Thelma and Louise. Wow, what an improvement. I remember watching this way back on DVD, and the improvement over that is significant, and even the Blu Ray. This, in my opinion, is the definitive way to watch the film at home because, wow, I mean, the Dolby Vision grading on this just makes this film look beautiful. And there's such a clarity also to the image that I could never, I remember watching it on DVD, it always had kind of like a murkiness to it, but not here. On 4K, it's all clear, it looks great, film grain is nicely preserved, it's intact, and once again, that Dolby Vision really makes a difference. And wow, even the audio I feel is fantastic. You didn't get an Atmos upgrade, but the DTS 5.1, it's pretty punchy. I mean, there's some great moments in this one, and also it makes good use of the surround environments. If you're a fan of this film, or if you've never seen it, and it's always been one of those that's been in pop culture, and you've kind of been curious, do yourself a favor, watch it on 4K if you watch it for the first time, and if you're an old-time fan, definitely pick this one up. My #3 pick is technically a re-release, but Sony's been reissuing their films, but with new Dolby Vision grading, so I'm going to count it. It's new in that regard. So I'm talking about Cliffhanger. Wow. I mean, look, the previous 4K already was a really good-looking picture, but yeah, with the extra Dolby Vision, it doesn't fundamentally alter the picture. It just gives it a nice little bit of a refinement. And, really, of course, the big winner here is the Dolby Atmos. For a 90s action film, it ticks all the right boxes. It gives you a great experience. This is how you handle that era of films on 4K if you're going to give them upgrades. In my opinion, Cliffhanger, this one is a fantastic re-release. I think if you're going to get it, obviously get the Dolby Vision, and it does come with the Steelbook just by default. There's no slipcover. But yeah, I mean, this one is absolutely should be on everybody's shelf if you are a fan of action films from the 90s. And the new 4K from Sony is well worth the upgrade. Normally when you hear 4K and Paramount in the same sentence, you're left with mixed feelings. Their catalog releases have had some interesting results, some good, some not so good. But I feel they've been turning a corner in that area. Now, when it comes to new theatrical releases, I feel that they're pretty spot on for the most part. In my opinion, Top Gun Maverick was one of the best discs of that year, and I'd like to see that continue. And with Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, I feel they put out a really good offering. It's a fun fantasy film that makes really good use of the HDR Dolby Vision grading. It doesn't overblow the colors, it gives you a nice refinement, and it makes the palette look really good. I think it's a nice visual 4K, and it's one that it's just very entertaining in a visual sense. And the Dolby Atmos, it's fun. It has a good immersive atmospheric, or some good dynamic activity, and it's an interesting experience to have at home. I really recommend the film personally, but the 4K disc, yeah, it's I think well worth owning. And if you're going to go against versus the standard Blu-ray, the 4K is the way to go in my opinion. Absolutely. So check this one out, and that is why it is my number 2 pick. Before I get to my number 1 pick from this past month, just a quick honorable mention. Sometimes I like to import titles, I think we all do. And for Arrow Video's release of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, in my opinion, you need to own this one on 4K, because this just changes the film, in my opinion, on a home format. The Blu-ray edition has always looked a little rough to me, the DVD even more so, but I feel all those problems that I've had in previous formats are largely resolved here. This is a beautiful looking picture. Grain is just well structured, it looks fantastic, and that Dolby Vision grading, it just gives you a nice, like the palette is more alive and visually very pleasing. I think the improvements that were made on this are well worth the investments. And when it comes to the audio, it's essentially the same audio from before, if I'm not mistaken, but it's really good. It has, the soundtrack in this film is almost second to none, and you get a great audio experience. But for me, the real winner is the picture quality. So if you get a chance, import Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I don't know if it's going to come out here in the States. I think Criterion might actually have the rights to this one. Arrow Video, I think, would have probably already released it simultaneously. I don't know, it could be a rights issue, but check this one out. If you can't wait, I highly recommend you import it. And for my number 1 4K Blu-ray disc release of May 2023, that will go to the sci-fi dinosaur flick 65. When I saw this one in theaters, I knew, even though my theater is kind of very miss when it comes to the audio and visual elements of their screens, I knew this one was going to be a fantastic home experience, because it's Sony. They normally do a fantastic job, and this one is no exception. No matter what you may think of the film, you can't deny that the 4K is a great looking and sounding disc. It has some good moments. The dinosaurs are coming all around you, and there's other elements that are multi-directional in your surround environment. There's a lot going on audio-wise and picture. It's really excellent. It's a little bit dark. It has that kind of setting. It's I don't want to spoil the movie, but you'll know it when you see it. But I think visually it looks really good, and I think Sony did a fantastic job overall. This is a new theatrical release on 4K, and I couldn't be happier with this disc. I highly recommend you check this one out. 65 on 4K is my number 1 pick for this past month. So those were my top 5 4K Blu-ray discs of May 2023. If you're interested in any of these titles, I will leave Amazon links in the comments section. If you use them, they really help out the channel. Now, I also want to hear from you. What were your top 5 picks of this past month? Let me know down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.